Hey, this is Stevie Rochelle from Tough and Metal Sledge.
Hey everybody, this is Pat Torpy from Mr. Big.
This is Glenn Hughes, the voice of rock. What's up? This is Dave Rude from Tesla.
And you're listening to Music Mania.
Music Mania. You are locked and loaded on the Music Mania podcast.
Thank you so much, man. I love talking about the things that I love, Clint. And for you to allow me to do it with you, I am the Music Mania podcaster.
You wanted the best! You got the best!
We roll tonight to the guitar bite. And for those about to rock, I salute you.
You ready for some screaming heavy metal? Scream for me, Brazil! Scream for me, Brazil! We rock!
You are now listening to the Music Mania podcast, brought to you by CD Warehouse in Gladstone, the #1 hard rock podcast in the Midwest, featuring hard-hitting interviews with rock's living legends. And now, here's your host, Clint Schweitzer.
Hey, what's going on? Clint Schweitzer here from the Music Mania podcast, and we are rolling on despite COVID-19 pandemic 2020. Guys, a lot of this feels like the new normal for most of us, and so if you're anything like me, you are at least sitting around, maybe bored, maybe at least able to delve into some new music, into some new albums. And I tell you what, we have just the topic for you here on this show, because legendary American rock band Tesla has released their new live album, 5-Man London Jam, worldwide on March 27th. The album is a live performance of some of their most iconic hits from their catalog. 5-Man London Jam was recorded and filmed in 4K ultra high definition as an homage to their critically acclaimed and highly influential top 20 platinum album, 5-Man Acoustic Jam. The 5-Man London Jam is available in multiple formats, including Blu-ray, 2LP vinyl, CD, and digitally. The electrifying lead single, What You Give, is available for immediate download with album pre-order. And with all that going on, we are going to be welcoming legendary Tesla frontman Jeff Keith to the show here this week to talk about it. We're going to talk about the 30-year anniversary coming up, a 5-Man Acoustic Jam, kind of how that happened, how maybe Tesla unknowingly unlocked the keys to the acoustic kingdom for MTV and Unplugged. They did that back in 1990, so to commemorate that 30-year anniversary, they have this new album, 5-Man London Jam, so definitely check it out. Of course, Tesla's also celebrating the 1-year anniversary of their latest studio album, Shock, which was produced by Def Leppard guitarist Phil Collen, who we've had on this show multiple times. We're going to talk to him about that. We've got a lot of rapid-fire fan questions from the Facebook page we're going to be bringing up to Jeff, and he's just one of those cool laid-back cats, man. He's up for it all. We're going to talk to him about his relationship with former Tesla guitarist Tommy Scio, and if he's been in touch with him at all lately, and just sort of what he's been doing during this coronavirus time. The good thing about this is, if you can find some silver lining, is that what we've found is that there's so many artists that would be out on tour right now, and Tesla is one of those bands. They had a tour scheduled this spring and on into the summer with Alice Cooper and Lita Ford. Hopefully that still happens. It's probably in doubt at this point. Obviously, a lot of their tour dates have already been rescheduled, but that tour with Alice Cooper still listed as of now. We'll see, of course, play the wait and see game on that, but so many artists are at home right now. They're still working on music. They're still creating, but we're able to contact and interview so many artists right now. So we have interviews piled up. I mean, in one email, I was able to get a hold of Stuart Copeland from the Police, drummer from the Police, and set up an interview. That interview is in the can, and it will air on this podcast next week. Of course, you can get the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Go ahead and subscribe. Please leave us a 5-star review. We always appreciate that. Or a 1-star review if you hate the show. And I know there's some of you out there that certainly do. So, guys, as rumors continue to fly about tours being canceled, Sleaze Rocks has reported that the Motley Crue tour is in jeopardy. We've heard a few more industry insiders that could be the case. Nothing official on that yet. But if that happens, I think that is a big signifier of where things are this summer, because that event, I mean, it's in stadiums and it's not slated to begin till June 18th. And if that tour, which is a multi-million-dollar endeavor for Live Nation, if that tour goes out the window, that means that you can pretty much expect there to be no events, no gatherings of any kind, let alone 50,000 people in a stadium. So things to watch out for, to be sure there. But that's sort of one of the rumors right now. But we want to go ahead and without further ado, go ahead and get into our interview with Jeff Keith. Taped this just a few days ago. Jeff was kind enough to join us from his home in Sacramento. So without further ado, let's take you to our interview with Jeff Keith from Tesla. Jeff, man, what's good, Jeff? How you doing, my friend?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Just you got some probably cloudy weather up here in Northern California. I'm out by Folsom Lake and sitting here talking with you, man. Life's good as far as being quarantined ain't the best, but hey, it is what it is.
We're living through it. We're getting it done together, man. And I know for you, I mean, you guys, especially because you had your tour was going all through spring and all through summer. So this, especially for you guys, this hits close to home, doesn't it?
Well, it does. And we had just come home from a tour, and then we had a month home, and while we were at home is where everything started going on. So, there's a lot of people that just went out and got shut down, and now the April thing has gotten shut down, and they're talking about, whether the Alice Cooper and Lita Ford thing might have to get pushed back. Whatever it takes, we all have to do, and we got to do it as a world, Clint. That's the best way I can see it.
Oh, that's really well said. And I was definitely looking forward to that tour with Alice Cooper and Lita. I mean, you guys have done so many amazing high-profile tours, whether it be with Joan Jett and Styx or with Def Leppard several times. I mean, you guys have done some really high-profile tours the last few years, man.
Yeah, well, we got the same management as Def Leppard, and we got on a lot of them tours, but it's not just because of our management. It's because it was a nice package, out there with Styx or REO or Poison, and then Styx, Joan Jett, all those things are fun. The Alice Cooper, that's awesome. We played with Alice many times, but our second tour ever first one was David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile in December of '86, January of '87, and then it was Alice Cooper. So we go way back. I mean, and we grew up, cutting our teeth on songs from Alice Cooper, So
yeah.
It's great to go out and play with them people. But I hope you get pushed back.
Right, definitely not. We're hopefully in the next couple months we can get back into normalcy here. But the good news is for you guys here, good timing on this because you're getting ready to release your album 5-Man London Jam, which comes out tomorrow on March 27th. Man, this is great stuff. Of course, kind of 30 years since 5-Man Acoustic Jam. It's kind of perfect here to roll this thing out, man. Great timing on this.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, it's something that you can kind of do in the times that we're in, where everything's quarantined. Hopefully, people will be, eager to listen to something. We're going to give them something to look at and listen to, but to help us through these times. But I mean, it's exciting to have the record come out. But like I said, it's a little unfortunate with the timing of everything. But like I said, hopefully people stay quarantined. We'll get through this stuff soon. We'll be back on the road, and they'll have something they can watch and listen, and hopefully their ears will like it.
Well, this is tremendous, and I think you guys did this last summer. You recorded at Abbey Road Studios over there, so kind of talk about how this kind of came to be. You released your album Shock about a year ago, almost to the day, and you're able to get California Summer Jam on this thing, so it's a new song on there, and you got to kind of mix that with some of your old hits. So just talk about kind of what went into putting together this 5-Man London Jam.
Well, it's 30-year anniversary from 5-Man Acoustical Jam, which we just recorded and forgot we even had. Next, it's the biggest record to date that we sold. And, then we got this chance. I think our management helped us get into Abbey Road Studios to do a recording because we were starting off last summer over in Europe to do a bunch of festivals. And we got to open up with the Abbey Road Studios recording and filmed it and recorded it. And it's live, and it's 30-year anniversary, and we got to do songs like From the Shock record that we did with Phil Collins. We got to do some songs that weren't written in 1990 when 5-Man Acoustical Jam was just the first two records. So we got to play, some songs, a lot of songs that weren't written at the time, 30 years ago. So that was fun, and of course, at Abbey Road Studios, oh my God, it's the most sacred place you could record, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, and the sound's incredible. I mean, and there's something about the magic of you guys when you do that, when you strip down and you do it. And you guys really kind of unknowingly brought on the acoustic craze and MTV Unplugged in the early 90s. You guys sort of unwillingly did that. So thanks Tesla for that.
Well, they started that Unplugged thing, and they wanted us to actually do one of the first ones or the second ones, but we weren't able to. I forget for what reason. And the next, we do this 5-man acoustical jam thing, so people think we started. But MTV already started something where they wanted to do this, the acoustic thing, Unplugged. And it was just at the same time, it was just not a mishap. It was an honest show that just got recorded. We forgot we were even recording it. And 3 months later, we play songs at a radio station. Phones are ringing off the hook, what they now call a landline phone.
Weird.
And, next, Geffen goes, we got a whole night of this. Let's put it out. It's like, great. And it's all live from start to finish, video and everything. So now we did the same thing with that idea. And what happens to it is, I'll be honest with you, I forget exactly how things happen, but I'm there in the moment. And a lot of that stuff, most of it I haven't seen or heard. And when it comes out tomorrow, I get to see and hear it. It's going to be great because I know I was there.
Yes, absolutely. And definitely pick that up on the Tesla website. You can order that right now and get it here in the next just couple days, get it sent right to you. Okay, so because given the parlance of our times, given that we've really got to entertain the people here, we usually don't do this, but I decided to open this up for a few questions from the Tesla Facebook group, if you don't mind, just a couple rapid fire questions, my friend. Tanya Ling wants to know, what's the first album you ever bought?
The first record I ever bought, I believe, was I was in Oklahoma in the early 70s, from 70 to 76, where I graduated high school, majoring in FFA 1, 2, and 3 in 76. But in 74, I went to buy my brother a record for his birthday, but an 8-track tape. And I bought Tres Hombres. It had just come out, was hitting in the Texas area. And I sent it to my brother in Northern California and Georgetown, where I was from. They went crazy over it. Next thing you know, ZZ Top's huge. And that was like the first 8-track tape, but I never had a record player. I'm from a small town, Clint.
Yeah.
So I'm not your typical record collection kind of guy. I was more on 8-track tapes and kind of grew up on that, passing them around. But the first one I remember buying an 8-track tape was Tres Hombres.
That's a good one. We're both Midwesterners.
74.
I'm 74. I'm from Missouri. You're from Oklahoma. We kind of got that in common here. So definitely understand that. Let's see. This is a good one here from Bridget Bresky. Do you still own the white jeans with the black footprints from the Love Song video?
Okay, here's what I did. Katrina came through, and I went, oh my God, I've got to help. So back in the gold and platinum record days, got these ones that were doubles. They said Jeff Keith. I said, quit sending Jeff Keith. Just put Lazy Ranch is what I call my place at the time where I lived. And they would send both. So when Katrina went through, I had 2 platinum and a gold that said Jeff Keith, presenting Jeff Keith. I took them off the wall. I washed them off. The fans wanted to buy them back. The first one I went, let that person have it. They're going to help. So $7,000 that got raised in with the people that said, hey, well, we were still chipping in. I said, you can, if you want, there's a lot of animals on rooftops. And so I took my handprint pants and my white boots that I used to always wear and the belt that I wore. And I donated that off to the animals too for Katrina when Katrina went through. So
wow,
that's where they are.
That's a great story. I'm glad they asked that. That's really cool. Jennifer Werner wants to know about the band Bad Marriage that you had recently out with you. She said she saw you February 28th in Amarillo. And what did you think about the band Bad Marriage? And do you plan on taking them out again in the future?
Love Bad Marriage, and because a lot of bands that go out with us, we end up loving them. But Bad Marriage is just right up my alley for me, and I love having them out there. I think it's like a well-rounded show. It complements Tessa, it complements Bad Marriage. And, Def Leppard taught us that when they took us out on Hysteria in 87, 88 in the round, in the middle of the arena. They let us go anywhere we wanted on that round stage because in their eyes, that's how what they taught us is you make the show an entire well-rounded show. And, you don't try to put boundaries up and all this stuff and just give the people everything you got. And I think Bad Marriage is a good band for Tesla. They compliment Tesla, and we compliment them, I think, and our crowd seems to really love them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. So like 5 people asked this, but my good friend Bert, who got me into Tesla years ago, Jeff, this is I got to get it in for him, man. He wants to know, do you keep up with Tommy at all? And have you heard from him lately, Tommy Schio?
Yeah, I just called him and sang him happy birthday, but it was on a voicemail and talked to him after that. Yes, Tommy's a great friend, and he was a big part of Tesla, but Dave Bruce is like a big part of Tesla, and that's what Tesla does today, but Tommy will always be a tree that grows in my yard is the way I like to say.
Hey, great stuff. You guys did great stuff with Bar 7. Okay, here's one that maybe I don't get this one. This will be the last one from the fans. John Deers wants to know, do you miss being a tomato farmer?
Well, no, because I'm always once a tomato farmer, always a tomato farmer. Biggs just made a funny comment about it, and it was great because people were like, Nikki Sixx said you're a bunch of tomato farmers from Sacramento, and my answer was, we are! It's great! So, yes, we are very happily grateful tomato farmers enjoying doing what we do, and that's farming tomatoes, and we call it rock and roll.
I want to know, me as a Tesla fan now, want to know about kind of your start. I believe I'd read somewhere that you had won some kind of singing contest, local singing contest, singing. Was it Sammy Hagar's Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy?
Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy, and I didn't know he was the Red Rocker. I didn't even know he was, at that time, he was the singer of Montrose. But guy was decked out in all these things. I won a contest for $200 where you sing into an open mic, and this guy had red bandana, red spandex, red shoes, everything. I thought, I'm going to be dead. He's the one that told me Sammy Hagar was the Red Rocker. And I did that contest, won $200, and some friends up from Georgetown, these 2 girls that lived down Sacramento, named Frank and Brian, and City Kid. Their singer was quitting that night, got me to sit in with them, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just squealing those monitors. Brian Wheat said, I couldn't even tell if the guy knows how to sing. He doesn't know how to use the mic. And Frank was come over to share the mic with me. I think he's our guy. And next you know, I'm in the band.
That's awesome.
I'm like Finding Nemo, I call it. Dude.
Oh God. Over the years, which band, you kind of mentioned some in there already, but which band and crew was the most fun to tour with throughout the last 35 years?
Oh, man, they're all great, man. It's just awesome. But, like I said, Def Leppard took us under their wing. They just really took us on a world tour. We started out in the UK, around every night, and just cut loose, have fun, and they are big brothers. So I always have to go with Def Leppard. They showed us and taught us and still do inspire us very much to this day.
I caught you guys on those tours, man, and I tell you, it was so tremendous to see, and you don't know how many people were out there saying, man, we love Poison, we love Def Leppard, man, we're here for Tesla. The Tesla fans were out there in full force. Do you prefer kind of the high profile tours and the bigger venues, or the headlining shows you get more time?
For Tesla, it's great. We've heard in places, we heard that, hey, this is the most people we've had in here for the opening band, no matter who's playing with 3 bands. Because it's the beer drinkers just got to get started a little earlier, because sometimes they like to get their beer going on, and with Tesla being first, it's just, the Tesla fans, they go, you got to start a little bit early. Tesla's going on first. So I think it's great, but no, not that all of our fans are beer drinkers, but honestly, some places that we play, they go, no matter, regardless of who's playing or whatever, a lot of times people won't come into the seats until, the second band's on or something. But a lot of times we'll get some people in those seats, and it's great because they all are there for some great music, and we try to give them the greatest music we can at that moment.
Of course, we mentioned earlier you guys released Shock about a year ago, produced by our good friend Phil Collin from Def Leppard, of course.
Yeah.
Tremendous album. A year later, now that you kind of have a chance to marinate with it, what kind of stands out about that album to you? Do you have a favorite song or two?
Oh, man, it's great because it was a whole different experience with Phil. With Tesla, we'd go in there and we'd try to get one song and then go get a live recording of everything, do a scratch live of everything, and then try to finish a song, go to the next. Sometimes be on a song for 2 days. With Phil, we'd go in, I'd sing on this chorus, I'd sing on this verse, I'd sing over here on this bridge. Let's work on the beginning of this song. We just bounced around to a lot of different things, and it was fun. And, he's worked with Mutt Lange, doing all that stuff, so he has all these great ways and fun ways of coming and inspiring us to do things, and he helped co-write it. He's a great person. He's fun to be around, and he's great at what he does, and we had a blast. And most importantly, our fans loved the effort that we made with Phil, because it sonically took us to a level that we can't do on our own. And Into the Now is next to a bowling alley in Pollock Pines. But then now we've got Brian Wheat's studio. So for the last few records have been great, because Brian's got this beautiful studio in Sacramento, and that's where we did Shock and do all of our records. It's beautiful, and we're right there at home, and except for a few people that have moved out of town now.
Well, nothing we can do about that. So we got to talk about Dave Rude. We've had him on this show. Jeff, it's unbelievable to think that he's been in the band 14 years. Just talk about the chemistry you have with him. I think he's a perfect fit. We just had Tommy on not long ago. Huge fan of what he did with you guys. But Dave Rude, tremendous guy, and man, what a player. Just talk about what he's brought to the band the last 14 years.
Hey, you know what? For Dave Rude to come in the position that he did and everything, and we did Reel to Reel, which is a cover for all of us, and that's how we just felt it was our way of gelling with Dave in the studio. Next, we're doing one of my favorite records, Forevermore, and I mean, Simplicity, love all that stuff. And then to do it with Bill, and then Dave got us to co-write with Bill. I mean, stuff like that. He's an incredible guy. Once again, it starts with the person that they are, and Dave Rude is one hell of a person. I love this man. And it's like working with Bill Collins, it's like with Dave. He's just like brings so much to the table. He is the fifth member of Tesla. He's actor on stage right for Tesla for how many years? 16 years, whatever it is. I don't keep count very well, but he is a great guy. He steps up to the plate, and what he produces at the plate is great.
Okay, Stephen Phillips wants to know, and this is the biggest one, probably the biggest one we all want to know. Are you going to do any more country music?
Well, I wanted to sell enough of my EP of CMF to make a full-blown record out of Nashville with Kent Goodson, my buddy, and Pat Boone, but we didn't sell enough. So at least everybody got a little taste of old school country that I grew up on and got to write with Kent Goodson from George Jones for years, and then Pat Boone. And so I'd love to do another country record, but right now there's a new acoustic record coming out, and it's Tesla, and as soon as we get to open the gates and we all get to go back out and do what we love to do, man, it's going to be on with the acoustic record, 5-Man London Jam.
Jeff, 5-Man London Jam. It is available worldwide Friday, March 27th, coming right up here. It is a tremendous effort. So glad you guys are able to do it from Abbey Road Studios. It sounds just like classic Tesla, and we're 30 years away unbelievably, from the 5-Man Acoustic Jam. Jeff, this has been such a pleasure, my man. I've interviewed everybody in your band except you. So now I've run the gambit now. It's finally happened, and we can't thank you enough.
All right, man. I'm glad you can throw my name in the hat now, Clint.
Thank God. It's about time. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Yeah, that's great.
Hopefully, we're going to see your ass here in St. Louis on June 7th with Alice Cooper and Lita Ford. Let's just hope that happens.
Hey, but listen, Clint, get a hold of, through Jody, and have her get a hold of our management and work it out so you can come say hello.
Oh, absolutely will. She's the best.
All right.
She's the best, man. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Jeff.
You bet. All right, Clint.
It was so fun to catch up with Jeff there. Just a great guy answering all the fan questions. We appreciate everyone from the Tesla Facebook group there that was provided a lot of great questions to ask for that. I think that rapid fire style really works. I think we're going to use that going forward on a lot of our shows, just throwing out some options for you guys to get questions out there to our guests, because you know what? The fans, all you guys that have supported these bands for so long, as I have, you deserve to, if you have a question and you want to get it out there, this is we want to provide that medium, at least, for you guys to be able to do that. So, guys, our website is musicmaniapodcast.com. That's where all of our shows are archived. I think we're heading on 170 now. It's really been going on since 2014, really picked up steam around 2015, though, where we started going weekly, and we can't thank you guys, the listeners, enough for that, because I'm just a fan just like you guys, but to be able to put this plan in motion, to be able to start doing interviews. It's just been a tremendous honor for us to be able to do that. So thank you guys so much for continuing to support the show. You can always hit us up on our Twitter at musicmania_show. Obviously, Facebook, Instagram. If you have questions, comments, concerns, you can email me at musicmaniapodcast@gmail.com. You have an idea for a guest coming up, want to throw out some questions to a guest, want to co-host a show with me, you know what? I'm up for it all. Send me that email. We can try to work out the details. musicmaniapodcast.com, again, is our website. We will be back next week in a tremendous interview that I did with a guy that is legendary for his sense of humor, especially in times like this. He also tells it like it is. It is none other than Stuart Copeland from The Police, joining us next week right here on the Music Mania Podcast. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay alive.